Got an itch I can't scratch, I'm missing a piece that completes a whole part of me, an open wound scar to see. Everybody come here, gather round, welcome to the freak show, the best in town.
Because I want something else to get me through this semi-charmed kind of life, baby, baby. Ha! Welcome to MTG 3. Yes, 3. 3 cards for you. And today, these cards I'm going through are great for Peasant Cube, great for regular Cube, and sometimes even sees play in Commander. You'll love these cards. Now, I selected 3 cards that are my favorite charms, but there are a ton of charms out there and a handful of great charms. So, let's start this video right now. The first charm on this list is an amazing charm, an amazing addition to your cube. If you're not running this charm, I would suggest running all 3 of these charms, honestly. But this first charm is a great combat trick, great for the Azorius colors, which I'm talking about Azorius Charm. Azorius Charm costs a white and a blue, is an instant, says choose one. You may choose creatures you control gain lifelink until the turn, or just draw a card, or put target attacking or blocking creature on top of its owner's library. These modes are amazing, super good, super solid for the Azorius colors. It combat tricks in 2 ways. One, you can give all your creatures lifelink if you're swinging in big, or 2, you can exile a big creature that's swinging at you. So amazing. Even if you don't need this card, you can cantrip it to draw a card. All 3 modes on this card are amazing. Yes. Yes. And that is not as great as the second card on our list. Now let's get to that. The second charm on this list is not blue at all, which is crazy. Neither is the third charm on this list. Different, because usually I favor blue cards the most. But this second card offers power for the deck that needs it the most. It's strange, because I can't really talk about the card without spoiling the card. And what card am I talking about? I am talking about Abzan Charm. Abzan Charm costs a white, black, green, and is an instant. Choose one ability. You may exile target creature with power 3 or greater, or you may draw 2 cards and lose 2 life, or distribute 2 +1/+1 counters on 1 or 2 target creatures. Oh my lord, this card is crazy. Yes, and I cannot suggest how crazy it is. I think some people overlook the fact that the 2 +1 counters are a permanent buff on a creature. Yes, a permanent buff. It stays there. Or exiling a creature with power 3 or greater, which is a big roster of creatures in Cube, in Limited. You're getting rid of big threats. This card is crazy good. And if you don't need this card, you can swap it out for 2 cards and 2 life. This card is nuts. You should look at your cube, see if this card fits in your cube, because this charm should fit in your cube. And that takes us to the third card on the list. Now the third card on this list, you might not even see coming. This card was a huge deal when it was standard back in the early 2000s. Yes, early 2000s. This card is still strong and still great for the Naya deck. Yes, we are talking about Naya Charm. Naya Charm costs a red, green, and a white. It is an instant, and you choose one. Naya Charm deals 3 damage to target creature, or return target card from your graveyard to its owner's hand, or tap all creatures target players control. Wow! Now, the first 2 abilities on this card are soft, but they're still good. One's a pseudo creature removal with that 3 damage to target creature, and this card is printed right when planeswalkers were being introduced to Magic. The second ability lets you grab a card from a graveyard. That is solid. That is great for these kind of decks that really need it. You can't always depend on Eternal Witness to show up for you to bring back a card. But the last ability, the final choice of an ability on this card, is what drives this card mad, bonkers, crazy good. Yes, crazy good. Not to repeat myself and sound redundant, but basically, the final ability on this card to tap all creatures your opponents control, or target players, most likely you're not targeting yourself, makes all your big beefy creatures in these colors unblockable for a turn. That is nuts. It's insane. Crazy good. The value of this card is really high. It is really high. Do not underestimate this card. If you never heard of this card, well, today you have. If you've overlooked this card many times, this is an amazing synergistic card to be had for Naya decks. And that is why it's the number 1 card. And with that, leads us into the Instep. To answer last week's question, what is your favorite Eldrazi? Shakar Umbra steps up to the plate with this comment. He says, I'm rather partial to any Eldrazi that could be considered Kozilek's children, since they appear so much more in Eldritch, and mess with reality, and have these sorts of geometric designs associated with them. But Eldrazi Displacer is a good example. I think Thought-Knot-Seer is also one. It has less of a geometry design, though both of these are rares. I'd like to add Artisan of Kozilek to the list of good Peasant Cube Eldrazi creatures that reanimates a creature as a cast trigger. Also, Pathrazer Ulamog looks really good in foil. With that, we're posting Eldrazi Displacer as his card of choice. Anything with Kozilek is good and amazing. Thank you. I read your comment. Hope you're happy. I'm happy. I'm excited that I'm getting this interaction on the channel. Which leads us to the question of today. And the question of today is, what's your favorite charm in Magic the Gathering? Put your comments, answers in the comment selection below. They get read first and as more important on YouTube. And I will see you next week. Thank you and play wise, my friends.
I've got an itch I can't scratch, I'm missing a piece that completes a whole part of me, an open wound scar to see. Everybody come here, gather round, welcome to the freak show, the best in town. What the hell's wrong with me? I don't get along with anybody, honestly. I've been living in my own head constantly, thoughts jumbled around, think I need a new lobotomy. Wait, all these thoughts are too negative, I don't wanna get lost in the sedative. Gotta show them what I got, I'm competitive. You know I'm about to go off, I won't